good, everybody? I know. But hey, it's better to just get it done. And I'm taking this work as a um, pajama day. All right. So don't mind the robe. Don't mind, the relaxation in how I look. Let me get a bit more light. Hold on one second. Y'all come join me. Happy first Friday. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. Shed a little more light on the situation. All right, that should be good. Nice, nice. What's up, y'all? So I want this to really be short. I say that all the time, and then I just, it just flows through me. Um, these lives, as of lately, these lives, as of lately, have not been scripted. They've just been messages that I really want to share. This one is no different. As we are now in day one of the new year, I really think it's important that we all take some time to really, 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 like not just say it, but to actually really do it. When we set our intentions and trust the process. This is not a race. You're not competing with anyone, whether it's personal development, business, starting a brand. You're not in competition with anyone, right? Like, yes, we all have competition. You know what I mean? I'm in the streetwear space. So, yes, I have to look at my competition. I have to see what's out there. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, don't be in a rush to get to step 15 when you haven't even begun step 1 yet. Don't be in a rush to get to step 5 when you're still mastering step 1. You're still trying to get your footing. Trust the process. People say that so often because it is true. You have to. The weekend before last, so 2 weekends ago, I took the weekend to feed my inner nerd, right? I'm a big nerd. I was a bookworm growing up. I love to inform and educate myself. Um, I'm not um, I'm not a tech person by way of being hands on, or that's not what the space my business is in, but I love tech. I'm absolutely a tech person. So I was watching interviews with Elon Musk a couple of weekends ago, and I'm more turned on by the non-scripted interviews. So the two that really stuck out to me that I was all in on was his interviews with Joe Rogan. And the first one was 2 hours long, and that was really, really dope. Or an hour and something. But I think it was 2 hours. Anyway, it was dope. And just to really have him speak personally and in depth about the beginning of his journey. Yeah, you hear it, in more structured, formatted interviews. But this, like, he even hit the blunt on this interview. So, this is what I mean. Like, I got to see a little bit more of the real Elon Musk. And there was a portion when, after he sold one of his first companies as a young boy, he took all his money, which he had a shit ton, and invested it full fledged because he was fully invested, as far as his heart. He really wanted to do both Tesla and SpaceX. So That's where he put all his money into the building of Tesla and SpaceX. And there was a time when he said he didn't even have money for rent. He had to borrow money from his friends to get rent. Any, from what I found, any successful person, 90% of them have had to sleep out of their car, had to borrow money, have had to eat bullshit, ramen noodles, whatever, to pursue their dream. And they did not give up on it. They knew that their efforts would pay off. So you just have to trust the process. That is really what I wanted to lead this whole conversation with. And that's why it's the topic. Trust the process. This is a journey, not a race. You're not you shouldn't want to be in a rush to get to the finish line, because there's a certain person you have to be able to manage that part of your life, that point in your business, in your personal development, in your growth. You know what I mean? Once you're able to manage your paycheck or manage your the money that you do have coming in. Like for me, for example, every single dime I get goes back into my company, because that's the point that I'm at right now. I've paused my weed buying, my weed intake. I haven't bought weed since before Miss Pam died. And that was, I found her on November 1st, because I had to think to myself, does it make sense that you're buying weed and your company is a nobody right now? No one even knows you. Much less are you profitable. No one knows you. Why are you buying marijuana and no one knows who you are? So, as a business owner, I had to make that decision to say, this is stupid. This is going against my growth. So, let me stop that. The money that I was spending on food, that shit got cut out. I'm literally, like Gary Vee said, eating shit right now, because this is the stage that I'm at. I have sat on a $100 bill for 2 months now, and I refuse to spend and break down that $100 bill. Now that's nothing, right? But in between all of that, my money management has gotten a hell of a lot better. So even the fact that I can say I've sat on $100, before that I've sat on 2,000, because once my income stopped, okay, this is going to be my rent right here. I was smart about every dime I had. It went into my business. It went into my product. It went into my marketing. It went into the little bit of advertising that I did. I haven't spent money on a luxury or a liability in, I don't even know how many months. And it starts there. It starts with day one, month two, right? Day 100. It starts there. You just have to trust the process. Now, kind of a side note, I want to tap into my channel and what I've noticed, right? So I started or restarted my channel in 2017 with Hotel Honda. Life happened, life went on, and I was MIA for about a year. I came back and I had damn near 2,000 subscribers. So one thing I'm realizing, and in between that time, Hotel Honda was stolen. So I could no longer do Hotel Honda vlogs because I was no longer living out of my car, because I no longer had a car. And it wasn't a priority for me to take out a loan or go into debt getting money to get another vehicle just so I can, keep vlogging about, like, that was my real life. And at the beginning of restarting my YouTube channel, what I stated is that you guys are going to watch me document my journey from where I am now to success. And that included me going through bouts of depression, included me really coming off of autopilot, of uprooting my whole life after divorce, leaving my business, leaving my clientele, moving all the way across the country to a place where I knew no one and had no one, right? It included every single thing that I've gone through. I stated, I want you guys, if you enjoy it, to follow my journey with me, but this is going to be a journey. And that was in 2017 when I said that. So now, since Hotel Honda has been stolen, I don't feel it's a priority for me to go into debt or try and hustle up on money to buy a vehicle. I just don't feel like that is a priority right now. I no longer have a car vlog or a car living situation. So now my alternative to that is I rent a room. I co-live. I share living space, right? So still, my whole thing is I'm totally against that whole renting and just paying people for property that you'll never ever own, and it's such a waste of money. Even what I pay now renting a room is less than what I would pay renting an apartment, right? I don't have any utilities. My name isn't on it. You know what I'm saying? And that may be a plus or a minus for whoever. But as a business owner, as a new business owner, I need to minimize all of my overhead as much as possible so that I can trust the process without having to be on the streets. If that what it comes to at some point, then y'all know I'm going to adapt and adjust, and that will what it is for that moment in time. But again, it will only be a moment in time because I fully trust the process. I trust the fact that I don't BS on the weekends. I work on the weekends. I input, I consume everything that will keep me motivated and going, including the very first thing I listened to this morning, which I shared on Instagram Live. Um, no visual. I just had my phone. I had it playing on my tablet. I put my phone, and I'm like, you guys join me in this 15 minutes of feeding ourselves with something that will keep us going, that will spark that creativity, spark that life of really setting your intentions and um, magnifying success, right? And that was a 15 minutes of Jim Rohn. This is my daily life. I don't just come on here. That's why I'm comfortable enough to come on to YouTube. However, because I said in 2017, I'm documenting my journey from starting over fresh to success. No one ever shows, what's up, the truth? No one ever shows the process. No one ever shows them in the process. So we all get fucked up in the head, like, feeling like we're doing something wrong. And in most cases, we probably are because we don't see the process. We don't see how they got from A to Z. You know what I mean? And we just see the before and afters after they're already there in cute little side by side memes. You know what I mean? Age 22, $0. Age 32, 1.5 billion. Well, how did they get there in between? What kind of sacrifices did they make in between? So for me, this is all I consume. It's all I consume. In 2017, I was going to entrepreneur seminars. And again, that was after me uprooting my life and being on autopilot. So I had to release a lot of shit. I had a lot to release, and that's why I was consuming so much because I needed it to push all that shit out. And that's when I started my minimalist lifestyle. And that's when I started to understand what trust the process means because I didn't get it the first time I read The Secret. I was there. I had my notes. I'm taking notes. I understood it. I comprehended the words, right? And it was all making sense. And I was repeating it and I was like, yes. But I didn't believe it. Like there was still a portion of me that from, again, whatever we're taught growing up, whatever we see growing up, there was still a portion of me that was in disbelief that I could make it happen. The 10X rule, I'm writing down. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid with Grant Cardone, Uncle GC as he's called. writing it down. I invested in the books. I had the 10x rule uh, planner and all that, and I'm writing in it. But as I'm writing, there was still a portion of my subconscious that did not 100% believe it. So for me, it's great for me to be able to look back and recognize that, because now when I do it, now when I listen to The Secret, now when I listen to um, The Richest Man in Babylon, and that now is my financial plan. Now when I listen to everything that I can fill myself with now, I know for like all of, I know for a fact this will be, period. And it's, there's nothing, my subconscious is right there with me. My mind, my heart, everything is in unison. We are all marching to the same orchestra, on the same beat, on the same footing. But it took me having to get to that point. I wasn't here in 2017, but I was getting here. Now I get it. Now I'm like, okay, this is what you mean. Eat shit, go through the process. And even with Grant Cardone, when he first started off and he was like, boom, I'm going to make as much money as I was making on my job within 3 years. Or what did he say? Within, I think he said 6 months or some shit. And then 3 years later, he was still broke. He was still not making money. He was still not able to pay his rent 3 years after starting his business. That's real life. But you don't quit. You don't give up. You don't go less. You go harder. You go harder because the journey is, you're learning more. You're getting better with each phone call you make, with each post, with each digital marketing. You're getting better. Your eyes are seeing it through different lenses. Yes, the same eyes, the same color, but my vision is different. What I'm looking at now is different. What I'm looking for is different because I'm different. So even that little bit of better money management that I have now, and the fact that every dime, like I don't need to ask, what to do here, what to do there. Every single dime goes back into my business. I'm utilizing the fact that I got 5 years per the U.S. government before they expect me to have any profits. I'm utilizing that because I don't. No one knows me, I watched a boardroom meeting with Gary Vee just a few days ago. And it was somebody asked the question, and then they said that their company makes 75,000 a month. And he said, Gary Vee said, I'm more concerned about what you do with that 75,000 a month. If you pocket that shit, that's where you're losing. That needs to go back into the company. If that goes into your pockets, you're losing. You're doing it wrong. Right? There comes a point where you have to sacrifice your immediate wants for the long-term pleasures. You know what I mean? Exactly. That is exactly what Dame Dash says. He was like, and I was just on a live Zoom call with Dame Dash on Monday. And I just emailed him about DM, because he said DM is the best way to get in contact with him. I just DM'd him about my organization. But that's exactly what Dame Dash says. He says, I don't see any point in having cash sitting around you. You know what I mean? And I'm not at a point to where I'm bringing in enough to even support my few little bills right now. Like, I'm just keeping it 1,000. However, I will not sacrifice, like, the money I have in my stock market that's growing. I'm not touching that. I'm not taking that shit out just so I can pay a bill. I'm not going to do it. I do have a problem with it. I don't want it. I don't want to be homeless. That's not what I'm saying. However, if that's a part of the journey that comes, then I will see what I can minimize and just keep my product and whatever close and how I can manage that. But I'm not messing with my investments. Those are all long terms. They're growing, and it's not for me to use and fuck with because my company isn't making money right now. It's for me to keep learning. It's for me to keep writing down my action plan, to keep writing down how I'm going to get like that's all this shit. It's for me to keep working towards. That's it. And another thing, a part of the process and a part of growth, right? Because um, even Dame Dash says you cannot build a successful company by yourself. So I'm proud to say I'm bringing in two, one for sure. I have an interview with the other one on Sunday, but I'm planning on bringing in two interns. California makes it very easy to bring on unpaid interns because I haven't even paid myself. So I genuinely do not have any money to pay an intern, even a stipend. I'm hoping by the end of it, I can surprise them and offer a stipend, but I'm not, I don't have any money to pay anybody, including myself. However, the stipulation is the internship has to fully benefit the intern. That's easy. They're getting real life experience. I have it set in that I will do a 1 hour one-on-one mentorship feedback, how things went throughout the week. And I understand that um exactly. Uh-huh. No, no, that's I like one thing that Grant Cardone says about that. Um, rent where you live and buy what makes you money. That makes perfect sense to me. Rent where you live. If you can afford to rent, whether it's a house, an apartment, whatever, and then buy property, rent that shit out, to me that makes more sense because that rent, and I also like his idea of buying multi-unit complexes versus buying a house and then you're just reliant on one family. Like I love that. And even Robert Kiyosaki, I went to some of his interviews in 2017. Like I was soaking up and still am a lot of information. I This is really my daily life. So if you can rent where you live and buy and own what's going to pay for your living, that's absolutely the way to go. And those are, a part of my future goals. Set your intentions, write it down, write your action steps, write down how you're going to get there. And Dame Dash just did a video yesterday, a live on making a vision board. And we've all heard this stuff. Like, this isn't new. Nobody's reinventing the wheel. We've all heard this. And that's what makes it even more true. People have been saying this for what? The richest man in Babylon goes back ages. The steps are the same, they're proven. The rules of money, the rules of gold, the laws of money, it's all the same. It's not changed and it's not going to change. You cannot expect to be given dominion over a lot when you're bullshitting off the little. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. If you can't manage the little, you know what I mean? And now in the 21st century with social media all over the place and all kind of editing apps and all just these false insecurities, we see all these images that just look absolutely perfect and all that shit is false. And this is why I document my journey because just like they all say, no one ever, no little kid ever says, or no young adult ever says, I want to be a basketball player. And they're 22 years old. They've never picked up a basketball, but just, I want to be a professional basketball player. I want to play for the Lakers. No, no, that doesn't happen because everyone knows you cannot just become a basketball player or a professional football player or a professional soccer player. Everybody knows that. But for some reason, people seem to think that owning a business, running a business, starting a company is just some shit you can just do. You know what I mean? Like, it's a process, it's work. It is work. And that journey is building you up to be the one that can. Money is a tool. Money is absolutely a tool. No one would ever, you would never go out to try and fix your car with um, some cotton swabs. You know what I mean? You would never try and change your oil with just a hammer. Money is a tool. And when you have actual dreams, when you have it in you to serve and to help people, you cannot be poor enough to help the poor. You cannot be broke enough to help the broke. It just doesn't make sense. And this is where we really have to get, yes, we do. Yes, we do. We absolutely do. Because here's why, it's no longer anything BC or anything AD. With us being the creators that we are, and with us being, we were the only living beings given the freedom to control our own mind. We also were the only beings given dominion over the earth. So that means we have to plant, we have to crop, we have to take care of the earth, we have to develop, we have to, everything that we've done is what we were put here to do. So because we have built a society to be exactly what it is, we do need money. Because if I want to help um, build up in St. Louis for the children there or for communities there, I can't do it just with my words. I can't walk there from California or from Minnesota or from anywhere else. I can't walk there. So, and even in former times, there was still currency, right? If we don't think about it as the paper money that now we use, it's still currency. So the richest man in Babylon became the richest man in Babylon because they dealt in currency: gold, silver, copper, currency. And he traded, sheeps, wools, leathers, carpets, silks for these currencies. And he managed that money and made proper investments to build more. So we do absolutely need currency. Absolutely. No matter what form that is, depending on where we are. If I'm in China, it's yuan. But I do believe we need currency. And when you have the desire and the goal and the ambition to help humanity, you absolutely need a lot of currency, because it can't just be here. I can't just, it's not going to benefit the world for me to only set my sights on, okay, I just want to focus on this little area. That's selfish. I start with this little area, and then it grows, and then it grows and grows and grows. So in order for me to be able to get here and there and there and there, I need currency to help me do that. It's just a tool. Now, so many people use that tool on bullshit and on liabilities. That is where we go wrong, in my opinion. That is what we glorify. And what it says, if you believe in the Bible or if that's your thing, the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, the love of money. When you understand that this is just a tool to be used to get to where you're going, then you don't feel like you're chasing money, because you're not. You're absolutely not. But this is the, even and I feel like, especially we as brown Americans, I feel like we're taught so wrong about currency and about even everything in the Bible. But I don't want to get off on that, because that's not what my channel is about. But that's not even what the Bible is about. It's really about personal development, self-development, and us understanding really our power and what we were put here for. Everything you read, it shows magnificence, not meekness, not, it's not being boastful, but and this is all what was stripped out. Like we have, I love Derek Gray saying unlearn and relearn, because we have to unlearn. We have to unlearn everything that we've been taught. No, money absolutely isn't everything. No tool is everything, but you do need every tool to be able to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish when you want to accomplish something greater than yourself. Absolutely. So, trust in the process is a part of that. Trust in the process. And, my advice to everyone will be to absolutely study as much as you can, consume as much information as you can. I saw a little clip of Steve Harvey back when he first started from sleeping in his car. And he was in Florida and he got a call. He was in Florida. I think he said he had like 30 some dollars, $35 to his name, right? And he went to a payphone back when we had payphones and called his home answer machine. Now there was a we used to you used to be able to call your answer machine, put in a code, and you can check your messages. And he had a message on there from a guy at Showtime at the Apollo saying if he can get there that Sunday, he had a spot for him and it was a paid gig. So he was like, I got 30 some dollars. How the hell am I going to get to New York and I'm in Florida? So he just felt like there was no way. Like, this is reality, right? He was like, I can't get there. He called his message again. He called back because he said he was going to get the number and call the dude and see, um, if it was the coming Sunday or the following Sunday. Because he was like, if it was the following Sunday, I think he said it was a Wednesday or a Thursday. Um, so if it was the following Sunday, he was like, I could hustle up and try and get some money to get there. So he called back and he said there was a new message on his answer machine that was not there before. And it was someone in Florida saying that they had a stand-up gig that paid $150. And if he could get there by Friday, he had the spot. So it was like, cool, I can drive there. Perfect. So he drove there, did the gig, got the $150. He killed. He said the show was amazing. And the next day, someone else canceled or something. So he did another show. So now he had $300 and called the guy at Showtime at the Apollo. It was like, you still got it available? Yes. Can you get here? Yes. Boom, I'm there. You see, it's a process. So we ended up getting to Showtime at the Apollo. Now, this is the real killing part. Now, he was living out of his car. He didn't have anything. He was like, and I had two bags in New York you know, looking like a setup. So he asked the dude at Showtime at the Apollo if he could stay there. The show wasn't until the evening, and it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So he asked him, if I could just stay in here. I got these two bags. I'm not trying to get robbed. So dude told him to go upstairs, don't come down. Period. Don't come down. So he was like, I haven't eaten. I think he said around 4 o'clock. He couldn't take it no more. He was so hungry and went down. Asked the dude. Dude said, I thought I told you not to come down. He said, look, let me just go get some KFC, on the corner. I'll be right back. So he allowed him to do that. Told him if you're not back in 20 minutes, you're not getting back in. So he made it. He get back. He get upstairs. Here's what's dope. He said when he was there. Now this was in 1991. He says none of them are big names, but he said he was there. He met D.L. Hughley. They exchanged names. They didn't. Nobody was famous. D.L. Hughley was there. Jamie Foxx was there. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson was there. And did he name one other person? I don't think so. So they were there, and they all went on before Steve Harvey and got booed off. Jamie almost made it, he said, because when he started telling his jokes, they booed him, and then he got on the piano, started singing, and he had them. He had them like they were. Jamie has a beautiful voice for those who don't know. And then after that, he started telling jokes again. That's when they booed his ass off. D.L. Hughley got booed. The Rock got booed. Um, Jamie Foxx got booed. So he was like, I was nervous. These dudes got booed off, and now here I come, And he said he ended up telling a joke about Mike Tyson had did a fight with somebody, and swole dude's eye up. So he said he had wrote a joke about the dude's eye. And when the dude was being interviewed after the fight, he started talking. He said, then the eye took over the interview and started telling from his point of view. So he ended up making it, and I think he won $700 for that. Now, this is a unknown comedian that is living out of his car, and he said that was my first time ever making $700 at one time for a show. The fact that we're bred to believe that money isn't everything, which we know money isn't everything, but we're not taught that it's a tool, right? The fact that $35 was not going to get him to New York from Florida. This is just a fact. That was just the facts of the facts of the facts. So leading with the mentality, which really is a low vibration, that money isn't everything, then you're not even opening yourself up to try, right? The fact that he was able to make $300, which now that is enough to get him a ticket to New York. The fact that he stayed so firm in, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do, how can I make it happen? When we ask the question, how can I make this work? How can can I make this happen? The universe will open up a way for it to happen. But when we shut down and just, come with every negative statement about whatever, then the universe shuts down all opportunity. All opportunity. And this is why I started speaking about the social media and how everything is so glorified now, because they put out there that it's all about money, 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 money. And it absolutely is not. It's about service and giving. It is about an exchange, right? One thing I heard this morning, don't take your need to the marketplace. Take your seed to the marketplace. So is it smart that I'm planting all these seeds, that I'm doing all this work? Does it make sense? Is it justified that at the end of doing all of this work, I won't have any gains? And if the gains aren't monetary, for me to continue to grow and help and build my organization for youth that will uh, nurture and mentor and guide them into entrepreneurship, is it fair that I should put in all this hard work and plant all these seeds and not get any growth from it, not have any crops that will grow, that will yield any type of harvest? That doesn't even make sense. I'm taking my seeds to the marketplace. I'm watering them. I'm making sure I'm putting them in fertile soil for the sake of getting healthy returns. It's all about perspective. If your perspective on any type of gain is negative or rooted in something that's bad, then, you know, you can't expect to seek any type of long-term gains, right? If you're planting seeds in unhealthy, dry soil, and because you feel like, well, I don't need whatever seeds I'm planting, you know what I mean, because it's not everything, then you're not going to get anything. When we understand that we need tools to build and construct and design our life, we need tools to help other people build and design their life, then that's when I feel like we, especially as brown Americans, will be able to get into a much healthier place. And this is why I document my journey, because I need us to understand that all the shit that we've been taught by our poor parents and our poor grandparents and our poverty stricken great grandparents. It's all been rooted in lies. It's all been rooted in bullshit to help keep us down. They tell us don't do business with family, but families run the world. The families are the richest corporations that run the world, but they tell us not to do business with family. That doesn't make sense. So now we look at one another like, I can't start a business with my cousin. I can't start a business with my brother and sister. But then when we look at the richest people, the richest families, they are families. The Walton family, the Rockefeller family. You know what I mean? The Bezos family. You don't look at him as a family, but his wife is just as rich as he is. His kids are a part of that. But we're told not to do business with family. See, we have to really, again, consume ourselves with the proper information so that we can get out, again, like Derek Grace said, unlearn. We have to unlearn all the bullshit that we've been taught. No, money isn't everything, but it is a tool. It is a tool. And without the necessary tools, without the proper tools, that's why we haven't built anything. And the time when we did build, you think they did that off nothing? Do you think Black Wall Street was built off nothing? Do you think they were circulating nothing? They were circulating money. They were circulating currency. They were financially wealthy. Black Wall Street, even before that, we were circulating currency. We don't come from an ancestry of people who lack financial wealth. That's not what we come from. That was what we were dragged from, enslaved, beaten, whipped, and put all this false identity about money and all these false lies, all this nonsense, so that we don't get back to that. Like my tribe, for example, the Fulani tribe. The women are draped and dripping in gold. Draped and dripping. When you look back at, and not even back, when you look right now today at the wealthy tribes in Africa, even the wealthy Native American tribes, they have an abundance of whatever their thing is, whether it's turquoise beads, tiger eye, and it's all something. It's not bullshit. You know what I mean? It's all something. They're all crystals. They're gold, precious metals. Like I said, my tribe, they have big, big, big chunks of shavings of solid gold earrings, solid gold neck pieces. This is currency. This is wealth. And you know what? Their moral code, their moral standards are a lot more than what we see in the U.S. Because exactly, money isn't everything, but it is a tool. And they understand that. This is who we are a part of. We understood that. But now we are 4 and 5 generations of poverty in the U.S. come from an ancestry background of forced slaves, and that's all they teach us about in school. So now you even have black people saying they took slaves from Africa. No, they didn't. They did not take slaves from Africa. Why would they go to Africa and take the slaves that are already in debt? Because slavery was just debt. You're paying off debt. So now you have to work. Now you are my slave because either your former slave master owed you debt and you got into debt. Like the richest man in Babylon really lays it out. And, I mention all these books to read that I can tell people don't read them because they give a lot of knowledge and information that we were not taught. You know what I mean? My cousin said that to me. Money isn't everything. Who said it was? But why are the poorest people the saddest? And they do the most complaining. Money isn't everything, but neither is poverty. Poverty isn't everything either. Poor people are miserable. They're not happy. They always complain. They always got something to bitch and moan about. Why would I want to aspire to that? Poor people have the most negative perspective on life, the darkest, most negative point of view. Why would I want to aspire to that? Poor people don't try to help anyone because they feel like they can't even help themselves, and that is a problem. So why would I want to listen to anyone that is living in poverty and wants to stay that way? You're miserable. All you did was complain about 2020 the entire year. And now you're like, oh, let's hope 2021 isn't a, like, there's nothing positive about what people living in poverty have to say. There's nothing positive about their outlook. So if money isn't everything, baby, poverty isn't either. Poverty is the absolute nothing of nothingness. So let's not aspire towards that. Let's not aspire to be less than when there is so much more out here that we were created to be. And that pretty much is my point in trusting the process. But have a goal, have something great that you aspire to. Like Dame Dash just said, what's the point in dreaming if you're not going to dream big? He even said, I don't want to dream. I don't even want to talk to people that dream small. Like the live that, and we love to, to quote Dame Dash, but this man has been dropping jewels for 30 years on ownership, on building wealth. You know what I mean? And he says keeping money around him is useless, or he feels like anyone keeping money is useless. But he's saying this in a fucking $1 million home. He's saying this having sold 3 businesses. He's saying this having started multiple businesses. He's saying this while he has an actual TV network. He's saying these things while he has equity, ownership, liquid. He's saying this thing. And one thing he said on Earn Your Leisure, he was like, my students be in Forbes. Bag drop. Fuck a mic drop. Bag drop. And you can go see it. So he says these things, and they're absolutely true. But what he tries to get us to focus on is the fact that we were lied to about money and about what we should aspire towards. Master P, the same thing. And I even just watched the 30-minute on Master P yesterday. And like he said in there, no, money ain't everything. And I don't even do it for the love of money because it ain't about that. You can't take none of this with you. But it's a tool to help me help more people. The more I give, the more I get, the more I give back. See, these are the people that I listen to. I don't listen to anyone like my cousin, cause money ain't everything. Yeah, and you're still in St. Louis. And you have no aspirations to help anyone outside of yourself. You have no desire to help anybody outside of yourself. You're not trying to start an organization to help young kids that look like you. You're not trying to start an organization. You're not trying to do none of that. Not because I'm just saying it, but because this is my cousin and I know he's not doing anything. You know what I mean? So the people that aren't trying to do anything, money isn't everything. No one disagrees with that. No one said that it's everything. Health is much more important than money. But when you do have money, you're able to be in better health. That's what the poor people, that's one of their arguments. They're poor, so they can't eat the healthy food. They're poor, so they can't work out at home because they don't have the money to buy the foods to fuel their workouts and to fuel their body in a proper way, right? So it goes hand in hand. Like it goes hand in hand. Talk to the people living below the poverty line and ask them why they buy the shit that they buy. Why they stack up the unhealthy foods in their refrigerator, in their kitchen, because they don't have the money to buy better quality food. They don't have the money to get a gym membership or a personal trainer. They don't have the money. That's what the poor people say. They don't have the money to do these things, to live a better lifestyle. And at the same time, they still want to repeat, well, money isn't everything. Well, see, that's the problem. If we change our mindset to say, okay, how can I eat better? Even that right there, the universe will begin to open up doors and avenues because you're not saying what you can't and what you don't. You're asking for the universe to bring you the how. Okay, how can I get healthier foods so that my children and I can begin to eat healthier? And you never know. Someone may come to you and say, you know what, in your neighborhood, they actually give away free groceries every week. Hmm. And then you go there and you see that it's vegetables and fruits and healthy shit that you say you don't have the money for. So instead of telling someone else that's striving to get as many tools as they can to help as many millions and billions of people that they can, instead of telling them that money isn't everything, how about ask the question of how can I be better? How can I gain the things that I need to gain to do better? How can I increase my income? How? This is a much better conversation. It's a much better mindset, right? We have to again um, realize that everything we've been taught has been a complete setup to keep us exactly where we are. And yeah, exactly where we are. Because 100 years ago, we were in a better position financially than we are right now. 100 years ago, there were much more black owners, and we have a much better economic system in the black community than we do right now. 100 years ago, our ancestors did more with less than we're doing now because we're in that mentality of money isn't everything. So we don't try, we don't give any effort. We just um, sit aside and think as small as possible. And like Dame Dash says, if you're not dreaming big, what the fuck are you even dreaming for? Like, what's the point? What is the point? It costs nothing. And he just said this, it costs nothing to dream. So you might as well dream big and allow the universe to open up big things for you. Why just dream small and think small? The Creative Nomad slogan is there is no box. Think freely. Because I refuse to acknowledge a box to think outside of. Why do I need to think outside of anything? Why can't I just think freely? Why can't, when I write my goals down and I strive to achieve them year after year, why can't they scare the hell out of me? And why can't I have people tell me, that's not going to happen. You're going to fail doing that. Or like my dad, those are lofty goals. What the fuck? The point is making a goal if they're not going to be lofty. Why even set a goal if it's going to be so easily obtainable that you'll have no growth by the time you achieve it? What is the point? I get what their point was to keeping us oppressed in this manner, but what's our problem? What's our problem with the fact that we can look back 100 years and see that we were so much further than we are now? What is our problem? Do you think everybody on Black Wall Street, do you think all and what about the Freedmen Bank that was screwed out of billions of dollars? The black owned bank, Freedmen Bank. Yes, we had an actual black owned bank that was circulating billions and millions of dollars within the black community and between the black community. We don't think like that no more. We think like money isn't everything. So we do less than small things. And when someone that looks like us, unless it's a Dame Dash or a Master P, and then like Master P say, people want to say to him, well, I come from nothing. Master P came from nothing. Master P came from the fucking projects. Master P came from absolutely nothing. And look at some of the people around him who didn't make the same decisions, who didn't have the same mindset, like his brother. And no matter what he told C Murder was just like, look, these are my people. I'm not leaving my people. And he just wanted to stay in the hood and in the bullshit and in the thick of it. Now look at him. And proof that money isn't everything. No matter how much Master P get, he can't get him out. He cannot get him out. Again, proof that money isn't everything. No matter how much C Murder saw his brother doing, it still did not sink into his mindset to detach from that poverty setting because he had a poverty mindset. And this is what it means when they say everybody can't go with you. C Murder has a poverty mindset. That's why he is where he is. That is absolutely why, because he didn't have the mindset to grow out of that and realize, okay, this is just the situation I was born into. It does not define me. It is not who I am. And if I want to help them, I need to build my currency, build my mental stability, build myself up to where when I come back here, it's not to hang out in the hood and dress the same way and look like one of the niggas on the block smoking weed and drinking 40s and shit. So you look like one of the dope dealers. You look like one of the dope boys. You look like one of the gangsters. So now, when the shit pop off, you about to get locked up and do this gangster time. Period. You're not going back to help. You're not going back to use your position, to use what you've learned, to be a leader, to be an influence, to say, look, y'all here in this projects, this is where you was born, but you can get out of here. Think big, dream big. You can get out of here. And you can eventually make enough money to now you can buy your mama a house in a better neighborhood. You can make enough money to where you can build up these areas in here so that they can have a better sense of pride in where they live. You can build a community garden because you understand the people in here that just have that poverty mindset and cannot get themselves out. Now you can build a community garden in the neighborhood so that you can grow fresh crops, fresh fruits and vegetables. But you can't do this off wishing and beautiful smiles. It takes currency. But more than currency, before anything, it takes the mindset to get it done. It takes trust in the process. It takes having a dream big enough to want to achieve it and obtain it. And once you obtain it, once you become the person that you need to be able to really manage it and make it thrive and come to life, understanding that not everybody can go with you. Not everybody is going to have that mindset, and it's okay. It is absolutely okay. I may lose 10 more subscribers from even this video from me saying that no, money isn't everything, but it's a tool, and it's a tool that we need. Everything we were taught a lie. And I don't mind. I don't care about losing subscribers. What I care about is that I put out a message of honesty, of truth, of sincerity. That's what I care about. I care about being the face that looks like me so that when some young kid or some young woman or young man comes across my video and they're, let's see, they're the black sheep of their family and their friends, and they're the outcast of everyone around them because they speak differently, because they send out a different message, because they have different dreams. I want them to be able to see me and see my video and say, you know what? Fuck everybody else. Yes, I do want to be a billionaire because I have a billion people that I want to help. I do want to be a billionaire because the goals that I have written down is going to take $1 billion to get it done. And I don't want them to feel ashamed of that because the people that are in their ear saying money isn't everything, money isn't everything, live small, live small. No, we're too great to live small. And we should be tired of living small. We should be done with that. And I agree 1000% with Dame Dash. If you're going to think small, don't even talk to me. Don't even bring that to me. Because my 2021 goals, I'm going bigger, harder, faster, more active than I ever did in 2020. Corona, quarantine, COVID-19 did not um, present a reason or excuse for me to jump on the sheepish bandwagon of 2020 was so awful. No, it absolutely was not awful for me. Every year, people die in car accidents that uh, no one says anything about. Nothing at all. So people die every single year, every single day, in huge numbers. And once we understand that a lot of the people that died and are dying during this time from other things that the fucking media put out there, if it bleeds, it leads. They put out there someone died in a car accident, but then they're going to put it out there that they died from corona. So you have to, we can't be so sheepish. Corona Coronavirus in the US did not was not the cause of death for as many people as they're putting out there. But they know the majority, the mass majority of working class poor and the actual poor living below the poverty line, they are led by that, you know? Investor news is a whole lot different from the mainstream news. A whole lot different. As an investor, that's all I focus on. That's all. When I watch the news, it's only pertaining to the stock market, and it's totally different. Even the coronavirus aspect of it, it's completely different from what they tell the masses because y'all are fear based. Y'all are led by fear. Y'all have a small uh, thinking, small mind. You don't want to do anything big. You look at the wealthy as like they have a problem. Even the ones that look like us that came from nothing, that came from absolute nothing. Now, when they're wealthy, we call them sellouts. Even though they come back to the community, even though everything they do, they're giving back to the community, even though they look like us, even though they help more people that look like us than anybody else does, we call them sellouts. You know what I mean? We want to uplift them half-assed with one hand, but then when the other hand, we say shit that completely contradicts that one. So I put the truth out there. I live in my truth. And this is truth that goes back centuries. I've just learned to trust the process enough to see that this is real facts. And I know that's not going to make me popular. That doesn't make my channel popular. I understand most of my subscribers liked the Hotel Honda and liked seeing me in Hotel Honda. Everything has to have growth. Everything has to move forward. Would I still be in Hotel Honda if it was not stolen? Absolutely, I would. And who knows where I would be had Hotel Honda not been stolen? Who knows? I don't know. But I know this is where I'm at now, and I don't regret it. I don't regret being a startup business owner. I don't regret even the Q1 21 goals that I have set that I know for damn sure I will reach. And they are big as hell. And they do involve currency. I don't feel bad about that because when my channel clears itself out of the people that want to see me stay small and wanted to see me, just go down. I don't know. You can either stick around for the ride to my rise, or y'all can continue to filter yourselves out. And by the time it comes back around and I start to gain new subscribers, it'll be those who now are seeking knowledge of self-development, knowledge of how to obtain wealth, knowledge of the type of person they need to become to be able to attract their wealth, to be able to create action plans, to be able to write down goals and stick to them, to create their blueprint and follow it, to be able to shift when you need to, because life is constantly throwing us unknowns and curveballs. So you may have to change your plan, but never change your destination. You know what I mean? So trust the process. This is a journey. Now, if you know you want to build something, again, I may need to change my blueprint, but this is what I want to build. I'm not going to change that. I may add on to it, to make it bigger, maybe I say, okay, this is too small. Let me make it bigger. So now I have to change my plans, my blueprint to align with this big thing that I want to build. But it will never be a day when I'm like, you know what? Let me just think small. Or let me just, go get a job and do what everybody else that look like me is doing that don't want to do anything bigger because I don't even know why. So this is to attract the energy, you know, of those that want to accomplish greatness, massive, massive greatness, and do great things. That's why it says it's better to give than it is to receive, because it goes hand in hand. You have to give in order to receive. You have to constantly give in order to receive. They say you want to be wealthy, help enough other people become wealthy. You have to give. You have to give. And in the poverty stricken mindset, they don't think about giving to anyone. They hold on to old clothes. They don't even want to give the hand me downs. They don't want to give anything. They'd rather throw it away than to give it to someone else. Because since it's no longer going to serve and benefit me, nobody's going to have it. That's the poverty mindset. That is the poor mindset. So I don't want any parts of that. I don't, that's the mindset that thinks money is everything because they hoard and hold on to shit that no longer serves them and is no longer useful for them. They hold on to it instead of sharing it and giving it to somebody that could use it. You see how that works? But anyway, I've been on here for 1 hour. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, I'm pretty sure I lost subscribers on this live as I usually do. I'm typically pretty consistent now. Every time I have a video, I go back, I'm down some subscribers. So I think I said last year or whenever, I know I've said it before, that doesn't bother me at all. I'd actually rather see that because I really want my channel to be weeded out. Because like I said, I was MIA for a year between Hotel Honda came back and I had almost 2,000 subscribers. I don't even know where they came from, but it seems like they came from Hotel Honda and, maybe that's a lot of what people like to see me in that position in Hotel Honda. However, I don't know. So um, I said then, this is a journey. This is me documenting my journey to success. And it's still that. So I wish you guys well. Happy New Year. Happy first day of 2021. And I will end it on this. Set your intentions. Make them clear. Write down your goals. Make them big, massive. Don't be persuaded by the naysayers and the small thinkers. Disregard all of that. You think as big and as freely as you can. And be willing to put in the work. Be willing to make the effort to make the shit happen. You can do it. It will happen. And you can achieve as much success as you're willing to work for. What you deserve is all based on what you earn. You don't get what you need just because you need it. You get it because you deserve it. And what makes you deserve it is your work that you put into it, the effort that you put into it. Like Jim Rohn said, don't take your need to the marketplace. Take your seed to the marketplace. Be willing to plant it. Be willing to put in work to make sure it grows healthy. Be sure to, when you harvest your crops, be sure to share that shit with others that need it, right? Don't just keep it all to yourself. Share it with others that need it more than you do. And what makes them need it more than you? The fact that you have the seeds in the first place to plant. Someone else doesn't even have the seeds to plant. So that is what makes but that's why they need it more than you do. Because if you had the seeds, then that means you know how to get more seeds. and you know how to plant. And now you know even more how to grow a healthier crop. So although you may feel like you need it the most, you have the least, whatever, yada, 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 the fact that you have seeds to plant, the fact that you have ideas that come to you, write them down, focus on them, perfect them, write your blueprint, follow that shit, and put in the work. And you will win. All right, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe if you're new to my channel. If this sparked a flame in you, if it sparked some kind of interest in you to make you want to go and study more, to make you want to get more information, to educate yourself more, to unlearn all the bullshit and lies that we've been taught about money, about success, about prosperity, then I encourage you to do so. I highly encourage you to do so, because there's nothing wrong with being financially wealthy, financially prosperous. There's nothing wrong with being a giver. There's nothing wrong with helping others. And it takes some sort of financial assets to be able to do that. One thing that I heard that really helped me out: you cannot get poor enough to help the poor. Period. All right, you guys, have an amazing day. Happy First Friday, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.